Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy 30th. Congratulations, you made it. All right, well, my name is Harry, as some of you probably know. Um, and unfortunately, I'm not able to make it to the reunion because I live in Japan. So, in this video, I just want to tell you a few things about my life since high school. First, where have I been living? Well, I've actually been living in quite a few different places since high school. After I graduated, I stayed in Daytona until about 94, and then I moved to Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta two separate occasions from 94 to 95. I went back to Daytona for a few months, then I went back up to Atlanta and lived until about 96. Lived in two different locations, Buford Highway, and actually lived down in Riverdale. Um, After that, I went back to Daytona and then I moved to Los Angeles, where I lived for about 6 years. Lived in Los Angeles, a few different places. I lived in Long Beach, I lived in the Valley, I lived in Studio City, and I lived right in LA at Pico and Fairfax. Actually, in the same building as Bishop Don Juan, if some of you hip hop heads might know. After Los Angeles, I came to Japan for the first time and I lived in Osaka, lived in several different locations in Osaka. And then in 2010, I went and I moved to Hong Kong and I lived in Hong Kong for about 3.5 years. Uh, and then I came back to Japan about 4.5 years ago, and now I live in a place called Nishinomiya, Japan. Um, and Family wise, I have three children. I have an older daughter who's about 15 now. Her name is Emma. I have a middle son who's about 11 years old now, and his name is Eisuke. And I have a younger daughter who's about 4.5 years old, and her name is Ariana. All three are half Japanese and half me, which is half black and half white. So we've got an interesting mix going on there. Professionally, since high school, I've done a few different things as well. For a long time, I did music, as some of you know. Made a few records, put out a couple of albums, and that music actually took me to Los Angeles. And then in Los Angeles, I kind of left the music and I transitioned into the film business. And I worked in the film industry. I thought I wanted to be an actor, but I quickly found out I don't want to live that actor's life. Uh, Eventually, I ended up at Morgan Freeman's production company, Revelations Entertainment, where I worked as a script analyst, doing script coverage and analyzing film screenplays. Um, and then I went to the literary agency world, where I worked in a literary agent in a literary agency for an agent where we represented writers and directors and a few actors and actresses. Uh, I was an assistant in the beginning, but eventually became a junior agent and then an agent. Very interesting life. When I came to Asia, I started teaching English, quote unquote, teaching English, which is not actually teaching, it's more like coaching and getting people to use the language. When I went to Hong Kong, I also taught English, but I also taught public speaking. I taught about law. I taught about politics and finances. I also started my own consultancy and I've researched about international manufacturing. I went into China several times to visit manufacturers and source different products. So I really understand what made in China means. Um, and Then I came back to Japan, and here I teach English at a couple of universities as well as various companies like ASICS and Fuji and so on and so forth. So that's what I've been doing professionally. Been quite a ride. Um, so that's me in a nutshell over a cocktail. I hope you guys have a good time. Stay lit, stay safe, and hopefully we can see each other in the future. If you haven't connected with me on Facebook, you can find me Harry Anderson III, and we can hook up there. If you already know me on Facebook, drop me a line. I have Messenger you can call anytime. I'm good with it. So again, I hope you guys have a blast. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you later. I'm out. Peace.